Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Zoronden Cast. I am Zoronden, and you are tuned in for another fan-cast Starcraft 2 match. This is a map on Daybreak, and today's combatants are going to be in the bottom left corner, PapaPandroni. Almost looks like Pandora, but it's PapaPandroni, the blue Terran. And in the top right corner, a familiar face, the red Zerg Kalma. And this is going to be a Diamond League match, as I said, here on Daybreak. So let's see how these two guys go up against one another. And I want to thank Kalma for sending this game in. Typically I do thank the guys at the end of the game, but I did do a Kalma game recently, so it's kind of obvious that that is the fan that already sent in the game. So I want to thank him for sending this in and give a shout out to his team, UCAP Esports. And on that note, I do have some major news coming up for Zoronden Cast. I will probably be announcing that within a week of when this video goes up. So that'll definitely be something for you guys to stay tuned for, and should only be good things in the future for Zoronden Cast. So stay tuned in for that information, and I will let you know big time when I do announce that, whatever it may be. Obviously I know, but just gotta be tight-lipped on some stuff for now. Anyways, that is future stuff coming along. So let's see how these two guys do against each other on this map. Kalma has gone ahead for the fast expand, and PapaPandroni is for now grabbing, oh, he's already grabbed his gas, and is also grabbing his bunker barracks, rather, which is just, of course, finished. Still going down with the natural. I thought that was the third for a second, but it is just the natural. That was definitely a fast expand by Kalma. He does now have his pool coming up. This is something we have not seen as much in the Pro League play. A lot of the players are now grabbing their pool first, then their hive or their natural expansion, and this allows them to just get out Zerglings a little bit earlier, and it doesn't actually affect their economy that much. So frankly, seeing seeing a natural first at this level of Diamond, or even any level really, is absolutely still fine. It's just some interesting metagame that we've seen going on at the pro levels, that they have transitioned into a pool, then natural expansion. So Kalma still working on droning up. He has queens coming out now as well. He's definitely going to need those for the larva eject. That goes without saying, even though I said it. And PapaPandroni has indeed grabbed a factory. He is now grabbing a natural expansion of his own, going to build it up in his base for safety purposes. The factory is going to pop on up and jump onto that reactor, so we very likely are going to see a grouping of Hellions coming out. No starport, so we're not yet at least doing a 1-1-1 for PapaPandroni. However, that is something we should watch for, because he's going to pump out a few Hellions here, do a Hellion harass, and then throwing a Banshee out would be a good follow-up on that as well. So something we'll just have to watch for, and if PapaPandroni wants to do that or not. Now, an interesting thing here out of Kalma, he has grabbed 2 gas, but they're both at his natural. I mean, it doesn't really say anything about strategy other than the fact that he's gotten 2 instead of 4. But the fact that he chose to throw him down at the natural, that's typically something I would recommend avoiding, just because they're typically more vulnerable. However, if he's worried about drops or something like that coming out of PapaPandroni, that might be why he's gone ahead and done that. So that is something that could just be by the matchup that is going on, and obviously something to keep an eye on. So now we have the factory switching over to the tech lab, and I would expect either siege mode, indeed siege mode, or I was going to guess blue flame, but probably not, because he hasn't built another factory and his Hellion production is done. Looks like his Hellions are going to almost slip in here. I guess he's got Kalma's got a queen wall set up, so that is going to cause serious issues for the Hellion harass that he wanted to do. Unfortunately, it pretty much stops it. I mean, the Queens are going to be able to defend this fairly well. If Pandori reacts, he can't really, or Kalma reacts, he can't really take those Queens out because it'll create a gap. However, losing a Queen creates a gap as well. And now that gap is open, and those Hellions could definitely blitz on through it. So, a little bit of just, I think, not paying attention by Kalma has opened up an opportunity for the Hellions, and they almost grabbed it. A few Zergling there are going to deter them. One does get crispy crittered, but they're going to continue to pot shot and cause Kalma issues. PapaPandroni has managed to supply block himself, though. That is definitely unfortunate. He has moved that command center into place. It is an orbital as well. I don't know if he did that before or after. Not a big concern. Still trying this harass, and a Hellion goes down. Is he going to lose a second one? Those Zergling really trying to get in there. Quite a few go down. The Queens are now having to pull back. Getting off that creep is not a good thing to do. He did manage to take out one of the creep tumors. Oh, and that Hellion almost goes down as well. We got very few hit points on all the Hellions. They're going to need to pull back and retreat if they want to survive, especially now that Zergling's speed is indeed on the field. And as this Baneling nest gets ready to finish, I do want to bring something up that I totally forgot in space at the beginning of the game. If you guys have not been playing StarCraft 2 recently, or paying attention to the internet at all, the Heart of the Swarm expansion release date has been announced. That is March 12th, 2013, so just about 5 months away. Exciting news, and you can pre-order that already through your Battle.net accounts if you want to do such. And if you're a World of Warcraft player, or even a Diablo player, you can order that digital collector's edition and get your in-game items right now. So if you're at all interested and you play those other games, that is something to look into grabbing right now. And unfortunately, those Hellions, without any repairs, all went down pretty dang easily. And that's unfortunate to see by Pandori. He could have taken those home, had them repaired, and they could have played into the game in later phases. But unfortunately, he just kind of sacrificial sacrifices? Unfortunately, he just kind of threw them to the wolves and let them die. We do have centrifugal hooks coming up for Kalma. Obviously, more Zerglings and quite a few Banelings. Where are those fellows morphing in? There they are. The real question here that I'm questioning is he doesn't really have anything to back up this very nice Baneling grouping. Now, because he's getting Zerg Flyer attack and armor, I would expect, I think that's armor, no, it's Zerg ground. I would expect some mutas to come out sooner or later. Ooh, and a very nice Baneling landmines going down. Always love the Baneling landmines. Those can be so much fun to watch. And with this juicy, meaty army coming up for PapaPandroni, that is something we're going to have to watch. And if Kalma can get this pop off just right as he's coming up the ramp, completely obliterate this army with very few units. So here's something we're going to have to watch as he's moving in here. And there are 3 Banelings that are potentially in perfect position. Is Kalma on the spot with this? Here we go, right in the middle of the army. Oh, and so many Marines go down. The Zerglings move in. Very few Banelings taking out a few things, but the Zergling are going to mop it up for them. And the Marines and tanks go down, and very few losses for Kalma, completely wiping out that army. And in the meantime, we have some blockage going on for the 3rd for PapaPandroni, so he's not going to be able to grab that anytime soon. He's going to need to run a few Marines up there, take out that Overlord. He's going to have to drop the scan, though, as well to drop out that Zergling, and I don't think he realizes it's there yet as he pulled his Marines out. So it's going to take him a little bit longer to do that process. And the Lings may just be moving into position to take this out once it's done and landed. So he may even be able to block this off 3 times total. Obviously once with the creep, which is almost gone. A second time with the Zergling because the Marines didn't realize he was there and left. And potentially a 3rd time with this Zergling army sitting here. Now, what I'm worried about here for Kalma is he's only got 11 mutas. Now, obviously 11 mutas can do a lot of damage, but they're probably not going to win the game for you. So he needs to get on with them, do some sneaky stuff, and try and get the damage done to the economy or whatever the process may be. And there the Zergling goes down. PapaPandroni is finally going to be able to drop his third down. But in the meantime, Muta's catching a medevac out of position, and he's going to snipe that off. All 8 Marines go down, not even a little bit defending themselves. I think two Mutas took about 20 damage, I guess about 70 total. And for a third time, that expansion has been blocked off. It is having to retreat now. Zergling starting to stream in here, trying to defend the Mutas. Fortunately, coming in 2 at a time does not really work. How many Mutas are on the field at this point? We got 20 Mutas on the field. 56 Zergling on the way. Me oh my, quite a few Zergling punching in. And look at them stream across the map. They are currently sitting at 2-2. The Mutas themselves are sitting at only 1 attack upgrade. So not as much for them. But obviously he's focused a lot on the Zergling. But attack 2 coming in for the Mutas. Definitely going to help. And PapaPandroni rebuilding that command center. He really needs to grab a third, since Kalma is now operating 5 bases. I guess one's hardly operating. Let's see the second one. Not bad. So his 4th and 5th aren't terribly saturated, but that's the thing. His main isn't even gone yet. So he is definitely overcompensating, and it is paying off. Containing PapaPandroni to 2 bases is really just choking him out. Kalma has so many resources in comparison, so many units in comparison. I mean, the food count is ridiculous, and now he's just strolling in with Mutas, doing a nice amount of damage to the infrastructure of PapaPandroni, taking out a lot of those expansions, but now he does need to get out of there with all those stim Marines coming in. Still trying to move around up top to do some damage, but that's really not going to work for the moment. But finding ways to pick things off, and now sitting on 30 Mutalisks, along with 76 Zergling and 3 Banelings still playing landmine duty. But yeah, that is a sizable force that could potentially take out PapaPandroni at this time, especially with the siege tanks out of siege. What is going on here, PapaPandroni? Pandroni. Wow, I have been calling him PapaPandroni all game. And with those tanks out of siege mode, I mean, Kalma could easily wipe this game right now. The unfortunate thing is he doesn't have a lot of scouting. Some changelings or some sacrificial Zerglings at this time would be a great thing. He could figure out the force of PapaPandroni and quickly realize he has a major advantage and could potentially just wipe him out right here, right now, instead of taking out some friendly rocks so he can spread his creep farther. So Pandroni has established the third. We'll have to see how long it lasts. He definitely needs it, as his main is all but gone. His natural is starting to dwindle, but it's still got about half its lifespan there. A little under. He's going to throw out plenty. Excuse me, it's quite late. He's going to throw out plenty of missile turrets here and actually move out. PapaPandroni could be making a fatal mistake here if Kalma catches him out of position, or actually just... Oh, he's going to catch him out of position. All the Mutas coming in. There's a lot of Marines there. But now the Marines are out of position. If the Zergling come in, he's going to move up into a more defensive position. Oh, and I didn't even notice he had infestors on the field. Unfortunately, a few get sieged. That is not good to see for Kalma. He still definitely has an overwhelming force at this time, though. And he's going to want to attempt. And oh, check that out. Some nice infested Terran going right into the meaty chunks of the tank. Here come all the Mutas tanks going down left and right. The Mutas trying to get into the Marines. Have they even stimmed there? They did stim just barely. Not very many medevacs in the foray at all. The Thor went down without contest, and the Mutas are trying to retreat. They are getting sauced quite a bit. A fungal would do amazing stuff right here, right now. Unfortunately, he's on full retreat. I think he used all his energy. He's so close to fungals, though. Then a few dots of energy. And if he was to turn around now, he could potentially fungal that so nicely. but such is not the case for now. Fortunately, that is now a pretty small force, and Kalma is all but revitalized already with so many lings on the field. He's got so many hatcheries sitting around. It's just not even contestation of... That's a word, right? It's not even a contest on how quickly he can rebuild his army. I mean, just ridiculous. So many larvae, and these lings are now just streaming across the field. They're going to flow into PapaPandroni's base and just overwhelm him like the flood, the swarm that they are. Here we go. It looks like he's going to go for the third, and this might just be the killing blow, especially if he can catch all these squishy SCVs and mules out of position. There's a canceled building. Here come the SCVs trying to repair the planetary fortress. It's his only hope at this point. There's just way too many units. Quite a few lings went down, but they just overwhelmed the SCVs. Took them all down. Everything is lost. The third is gone. His natural barely has any minerals. And most of Kalma's force actually got wiped the heck out. A few ultis survive, as well as a few infestors and actually a few lings as well. But watch Kalma's hit farm points, and as I say that, he's already done. It's already back to where it should be. Let's bring up that production tab and check that out. 14 Ultralisks on the way. This is going to totally steamroll PapaPandroni at this time. He has nothing that can counter this. Just so few Marines and Marauders on the field. I guess he's got some tanks and no Marauders. But just against 16 Ultralisks, not even a contest. Let's watch a few of these guys pop out. I love me some Ultralisks. Here they come. And look at that. So many Ultralisks. I gotta say, I'm super excited that the new skin for the Collector's Edition for the expansion is an Ultralisk skin. It's gonna be so amazing! And here they go, just getting ready to slice and dice. Everything's about to go down for PapaPandroni. No contest. He knows it. He GG's out. And again, I want to remind Kalma, or not remind, but thank Kalma for sending this game in. And I want to remind all of you that I can cast your StarCraft 2 replays. All you got to do is send those to Zoronden at gmail.com. And I will check those out and see if I can cast them up on my channel for you. If you liked this, please do thumbs up and subscribe. Stay tuned to Zoronden Cast. Gonna have some big news coming up. I talked about that earlier. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I will catch all of you next time.